In this nitty-gritty primetime Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at Mahjong Time. If you've not tried playing at Mahjong Time yet, look for my email in the video description below. I can send you information on their 30-day VIP trial. Today's topic is intel gathering. I'm going to be sharing a short presentation on this skill building topic, and then we'll do gameplay with commentary. First, I want to say thank you so much for watching my videos, for sharing about Mahj Life. Also, moderators, thank you for helping monitor chat today. The format will be nitty-gritty, so no socialization. If you like watching these Let's Play live streams with socialization, join us on Friday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, for the Simply Social Let's Play live stream, where we hang out and chit chat, but we also do gameplay with commentary. We just don't dig into skills and strategies at a deeper level. So I hope that you enjoy all these live streams. If you have any ideas for new content, please send me an email and let me know. We're going to get started by watching this quick presentation. It's super short though. And incidentally, you can gather intel much more in person than you can online. So we're going to be doing some gameplay with commentary with intel gathering, but it's limited because I can't see the players. When you play online, you can leverage that intel to help you make decisions on what to do for your own hand development, and maybe even when it comes to that decision to either push to win or fold. So let me share my screen. Oh, I need to set it up first. Hold on. All right. Now, I did have some technical difficulties with the earlier live stream today, so hopefully that will repeat for this live stream. We'll see. It was a little bit awkward. Hi, Meredith. Welcome. Hi, NMJL. Welcome. All right, here we go. American Mah Jongg, essential skills, intel gathering. This content, or this presentation, has information that you can use when you play competitively. I've used these, I guess you could call them techniques, when playing in tournaments, and it has helped me. So here we go. Basically, intel gathering will require you to have greater situational awareness than usual at the table, and also social acuity. These are the two things we're going to talk about. And this is in addition to decision making when you're developing your hand. This was the well, I guess it's a concept. This was the topic for the Nitty-Gritty Basics Let's Play live stream, called critical thinking, and that goes along with this. So between the critical thinking concept and presentation plus this one together, they make up powerful and essential skills that you can use to improve your gameplay. This is going to require you to observe and then interpret what you observe, then decide on what you're going to do with the information that you gather. So that will be interpretation. That'll include interpretation of what you gather, and then you're going to make a choice, and then you're going to execute on it. So all these things together, this is the process of intel gathering: observe, interpret, decide, and execute. Situational awareness is the perception of cues from players at the table and the interpretation of what they could mean. It's basically tells, like in poker, tells. And this is what we're going to look at a little deeper. First, though, there are three phases in the game: the Charleston, the play, and the peg. The Charleston is a pre-game activity that allows players to transform their dealt hand before East discards, which would be the play. And then, of course, when someone wins, there's the pay. The reason the Charleston is so big is because it's powerful. It is the pre-game hand development accelerator. So imagine getting your dealt hand and then going right into the play. No Charleston. Imagine how long it would take you to develop your hand one pick at a time. This is why the Charleston is so important in the American Mah Jongg version. So during the Charleston, the situational awareness that you want to be looking for, or that you're as you are gathering intel, your situational awareness of what is happening during the Charleston is going to include the tiles that are going around and continually showing up. Like in a recent game online that I played, wins were not going around. So I knew somebody was collecting wins. And I wanted to collect wins, but they just were not coming around. So I parsed them out one at a time. I know that that means that they would be flowing into maybe the player's hand who wanted to keep those wins, but also it was going to optimize my potential to gather not tiles for a non-wind hand. So you can watch for these tiles to see what either continually shows up or what doesn't show up. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin. What tiles are going around and what tiles are not going around. I remember recently in a game where no twos were passed. So I knew someone was either playing like numbers with twos, evens, or a year hand. I suppose they could have been playing consecutive run with little numbers too. But that's what you want to look for, the tiles that don't go around and the tiles that do go around. Try to remember who passes blind. This is a red flag. If somebody passes blind in the Charleston, it could mean one of two things. Well, really one of three things. Number one, they are in between hands or categories and they can't decide. So they want to keep both and they pass blind. Another one might mean that they're close to a well-developed hand and they just don't have enough tiles because they have all keepers. And another one is that they, well, actually, let me hold on that because it's really about stopping the Charleston. And that's the next piece that you want to remember. Who stops the Charleston? So what happens when someone stops the Charleston, first of all, it should be a red flag. And whether or not it's done by a player who doesn't know what they're going to be playing because they're in between, or it could be something or someone playing a hand that is well developed. And that is what you want to watch for. You won't know, but that red flag has meaning regardless, because you want to assume the worst as far as what the situation could be. You don't want to just assume that they don't know what they're doing and then continue to pass. For example, let's say the player across from me stopped the Charleston. Well, I don't want to pass to them because if they have a well-developed hand, I don't want to be giving them tiles to help them further develop their hand. Now, they could, as I mentioned before, be in a place where they're in between. Well, that would be a better situation, but I still don't want to pass to them because if they're in that situation, they really should learn that continuing the Charleston is better. You pick the strongest option and whittle out some discards so that you can continue the Charleston. In my opinion, that's a strategy which is subjective and everyone has their own playing style and prerogative to stop the Charleston, no questions asked. Also, you want to also know how many tiles are being passed in the optional across. And the reason for that is that those are more red flags. If anybody passes blind, stops the Charleston, or passes low in the optional, or negotiates low, those could all be indicators that they have a well-developed hand. So if you feel that you're a front runner, then you may have a competitor neck and neck through the game. But if you're an underdog or maybe a contender and you have more work to do, you might want to increase your level of, or you want to mitigate risk, basically. You don't want to take risks that could potentially help that person who stopped the Charleston or passed blind, because you could potentially help them. For example, making an exposure with a joker that could be exchanged. That could be very helpful to someone who's close to a winning hand. So those are just some examples. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep going, because at Mahjong Time, when you play with robots, they're not smart. So I don't want to play with robots and break in and out of this presentation. We're going to keep going. So after the pre-game, we're going to go into the middle game, or I'm sorry, the begin game, the middle game, and then the end game, and then we'll get to Mahjong Time. So let me just double check and make sure nobody has any questions. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the presentation here. Next, during the begin game, this is when you have 99 tiles remaining. This is after the Charleston, and it's when we're picking and discarding from the short wall in front of East, the short wall. Typically, the first 1 through 4 or 5 discards are going to be tiles that were not needed during the Charleston. So they're just clear discards, most likely. When you get through that first game, if somebody makes an exposure in that short wall, that's another red flag. So I probably should add that to that bullet. That would be a red flag, and that would be an indicator that somebody could be a front runner. And you would want to adjust your expectations and your strategy for how to play that hand forward. In this middle game, which is the third wall, these are the discards, maybe the 5 through 10 discards, the first part of that middle wall up until the middle of this wall are typically whittled keepers. So basically in the first wall, they'll be letting go of clear discards. And then in this middle game, the first portion of it, those would usually be whittled out keepers. So they're going to be more and more telling as the game progresses, especially the discard after an exposure. Those are going to be indicators that you'll want to remember so that you can try to determine what your opponents are playing and help yourself with your own expectation and hand development. So in this, let's see here. There we go. In the second part of the middle game, this in the first half of really the last game, this is when you want to really monitor exposures and use a process of elimination to try to identify what your opponents are playing. And then, like I said a moment ago, the discards right after an exposure are very telling during this part of the game. In the end game, this is where a lot of times players will rearrange their tiles really quickly. And sometimes they'll give off some physical or physical tells that you can see maybe a little frustration. That would be an indicator that they're maybe folding. So kind of keep an eye open for that. We won't be able to see that when we play online. But also in the end game, this fourth wall, yes, in this fourth wall, anyone who is going to be making an exposure is typically playing to win. So if you are still deciding whether or not you're going to play to win or fold, keep an eye on those players who are making exposures, because they are playing to win, or they wouldn't expose tiles. A tell is an intentional cue that can give you insight into someone's thoughts. There's interpretation that goes into it, And we're going to look at that right now. I like to call this social acuity via tells, social acuity. So we're going to look at some examples. The first is in the begin game when everyone gets their tiles. You might hear somebody say, I've got nothing. I have nothing to work with. And what you can do with that is just think to yourself that you have probably some distance ahead of them, because hopefully you know what you're going to do. Even if you get a challenging deal, there's always something to work with. But when you're sitting there with a player who has this mindset of sort of a negative mindset where they don't know what they're doing and they're even verbalizing it, you're going to have an advantage over that player. Another example would be during the Charleston, usually the second Charleston, you might hear somebody say, I went the wrong way. And what that means is that they maybe were in between evens and consecutive run. Let's say they had 2, 4, 6, 8, but maybe they had 3s and 5s. They gave up the 3s and 5s and went with evens. And then they were in the passing, they received 3s and 5s. I went the wrong way is usually what they would maybe say. And that would indicate that they made no movement on the hand development for their hand, which means that you are probably in a place of greater advantage than them if hopefully you had some hand development going on. So these tells, these verbal tells, are all pieces of information that you can gather and use to help you with your hand development and also manage your own expectations in the game. In the middle game, sometimes someone might say, I can't buy a flower. And when I first heard that, I thought, what in the world? And basically what that means is that they have no flowers. They need them, they want them, but they have none. And they just can't, they don't have access. So if I am sitting at the table and I need flowers and somebody says I can't buy a flower, then that just means to me that, well, that one player doesn't have any. So then either the other 2 players may have flowers or they're in the wall and I need them. So my hope is a little bit, I guess, uplifted, because I'm thinking that perhaps those tiles are in the wall that I might have access to otherwise. Another one that happens in the end game with verbal tells is someone says, where are all the jokers? And that applies to the same idea. If they have no jokers, and maybe the other 2 players could have them, but also they could be in the wall. If one of the players is saying, where are the jokers? They have none, most likely. So that is an indicator that perhaps you'll have access to jokers in the wall because one player has none. Okay, now let's talk about physical tells. Physical tells are when people react with their body or their facial expressions. Those are called micro expressions. One of them is a hesitation. And a lot of times these hesitations will happen in the begin game or the early part of the middle game. And basically they maybe weren't picking well or didn't have a good result after the Charleston. So they may hesitate on a discard. Perhaps they could maybe call it, but they don't want to expose jokers. So they wait and they pull back as a physical reaction. That would be a hesitation. And that, by the way, does happen online. And we'll talk about that when it happens. There's a visual indicator online for hesitations. There's also a flinch, which is similar to a hesitation, but a lot of times, well, with the flinch, you're going to have facial expressions. So don't just look at people's body reactions, their physical reactions. Look at their micro expressions, because someone may just scrunch their nose or, pierce their eyes or purse their lips or something like that. So look for both the body language and also micro expressions, including things like a flinch. Someone during the middle of the middle game, maybe they need a pair and someone makes an exposure with a pure pung and now they have no pair. That would cause a flinch, maybe. The next one would be a cringe. And this is another physical tell that you might see. It's very similar to a flinch, but sometimes in the end game, it might be a little even more expressive, or you might even have a physical tell plus a verbal tell. So anybody cringing in the end game typically is waiting on a single or a pair, and it either is discarded or maybe ends up in an exposure. That would be a cringeworthy moment. Next, we have tile tells. This is when people use their tiles in such a way that can reveal information about their hand. One of them is spaces. If there are spaces, you can, now, a lot of these tells, you've got to know the people to really interpret them correctly or with surety. If you're in a drop-in game, or you just are playing with someone in a tournament where you're only playing 4 games at a time, you're going to have to raise your social or situational awareness and social acuity even more, because you have such a short period of time with them. But you can still do it. Now, when it comes to tile tells, you're knowing the person will help with that certainty. So usually when there are spaces, those are ways for them to use sort of delimiters between the developing pieces of their hand. So let's say, for example, because you know the person, that the tiles on our right, as we look at this rack, I guess that would be the player's left, those are flowers. And then we have a space, so we know they have a pair of flowers. And then we see 5 tiles, so maybe those would be, let's say, they're keepers. And then we see a space, and then 6 tiles to the left of the space there, those would be their discards. So if I were looking at somebody with their tiles spaced out like this, I would think, wow, they have a long way to go. Because if those are discards, then they have a lot of hand development to go. Now, we don't know how they arrange their tiles. When you play with the same people, especially if you play in a 5-player group, you'll have the opportunity to watch how people arrange their tiles from a distance. And you'll know that, for example, this person puts their flowers to the left, or they put their discards to the left. Maybe their discards are over here to the left or to our right, 2 discards, and the 6 tiles over here on the other side are keepers. So when you're playing in a 5-player game, watch how they arrange their tiles and how they move them around while they play, because you're going to be able to use that information when you're across from the table and you see how they're managing their tiles. If people use spaces and you're able to watch them, you'll be able to interpret the meaning of those spaces and use that information to your advantage. Now, for those of you who use spaces with your tiles, train yourself to smush them together. You want your tiles smushed together because you don't want to reveal information. People may not be able to know what you're doing from the outside, but if you play with the same people and they watch you play, they're going to get to know where you put your tiles. You might even move your tiles in different places, maybe every other game. Put your flowers to the right and to the left. Alternate the location of where you put your jokers, because your opponents in recurring games are going to be able to remember that. I remember I played with a lady who put her jokers first, then her flowers, and I could always tell when she drew a joker or a flower, because I watched where she took, whenever she made an exposure, she would always take a joker from the left side of her rack. So I knew when she picked a joker, it was going to go to the left side of her rack, and she was very consistent. So I knew what she was doing, and it helped me. So watch. That would be the social acuity and situational awareness. Just watch and learn. Okay, let's look at another one. This next one is tilts. This usually happens when a player discards a tile and another player turns one of the tiles in their rack. Usually that would mean that one of their tiles was just discarded. So sometimes they'll turn it to where it's on its right side, and then they'll maybe flip it to its left side if another one of those tiles is discarded, or sometimes they'll maybe turn it upside down. But regardless, anytime you fiddle with the tiles in your rack, especially after a discard, not your discard, but somebody else's discard, people can make those connections and use that information to their advantage. So if you use tilts after a tile is discarded, wait until maybe one or two discards. And that way they cannot make a connection to the tile that you actually are trying to track. So let's say somebody discarded a 2 crack and I need a 2 crack. So I turn my 2 crack to the side like this. Now people are going to know, okay, 2 crack was discarded and she turned her tile. That means she needs a 2 crack. That's the connection they would make. So if you feel that you need to do this to help you remember, wait until the next person discards, then turn the tile. And that way you've created some distance between the discard that you actually want and the identifier in your own rack. In my opinion, I would not do a tilt like this. I might turn a tile upside down, perhaps. Usually what I do is I turn Plan B upside down. I'll turn Plan B tiles upside down so I don't accidentally discard them. And I typically don't turn tiles for discards. I just remember. And I just look out at the discards and see, okay, yeah, that was discarded. I don't need to track it in my tiles by tilting tiles. So anytime you fuss with your tiles, that's a tell. So think about those things if you tilt tiles. The next one is placement. And I already shared a little bit about this when I described what I experienced in a recurring game where someone put their jokers to the side, and I always knew when they picked a joker, because that's where they would reach for a joker when they made an exposure every single time. They didn't put the joker with the space or the area that they wanted it. They had it to the side and they just allocated that space for jokers. So I always knew whenever they drew a joker, there they went, right there on the left side of their rack. Same thing with flowers. So in this visual, we have a person who put their flowers to the right. And you'll just have to get to know your opponents. And that's why playing a 5-player game is very beneficial, because you can learn how people arrange their tiles. And we are all creatures of habit. So it's likely that they're going to repeat that. So you can get to know how people arrange their tiles, and you can get to know their style of play and predict what they're gathering and use that information to help you make decisions on your own hand. You will miss the best things if you keep your eyes shut. That's a Dr. Seuss saying, and I find it very fitting, because when you're playing Mahjong, there's a lot going on outside of your own hand development. Your own hand, there's a lot going on throughout the table, even in the room. So read the room and keep your eyes open. And that is going to conclude this part of the session. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to play Mahjong now. And I'll show you the tells that you can see at Mahjong Time. It's really the hesitations, but there's one other tell. There's a tile tell at Mahjong Time. Does anyone have any questions or comments or any tells that they've experienced in their gameplay? Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me after all that. I don't have my okay, yes. All right, sound is good. Okay, good. All right, here we go. We are going to log in and play. Do any of you use reading tells, reading the room? Do you use that when you play? Or am I just weird? Oh, let me share my screen. I was getting ready to join a table and I didn't have it shared. Here we go. Okay. All right, we got to wait for people to get here. Hopefully we won't have any technical troubles. The most annoying tell is when someone mentions not having jokers. I know. Yeah, some tells can be a little bit annoying. It's true. Because they're sharing information to everybody, not just you. While we're waiting, I'm going to light a candle. What? No. I have a party light candle here, but also I'm going to light incense. I like having incense going. Let's see. Wes says, haven't played in person to look for tells yet. Oh boy. Meredith, many of those you shared I've observed. We have one player who talks a lot and sighs. Oh yeah. Well, anybody who sighs continually just is sharing their frustration, which means their hand is not developing, which means that you don't have to worry about them being a contender. And you only have two other players who are in it to win it, or at least are, further maybe ahead than that player who is sighing. So it's very interesting, the information you can gather. Okay, so here we go. We have 2, 3, 7, 8 and bams, pair 8, 1, 4 and cracks, 1, 4, 6 and dots with a pair of 1s and 4s. So we're not going to be able to use all these multiples together. We have a lot of 2, 3, 4, but we also have 6, 7, 8. I think the 1s might have to go. Maybe even the dragon here. So we have 2, 3, 4, 4, no flowers, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. I'd probably let's see, we do have some 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. Let's let the dragon, oh, I don't want to pass 2 dragons. No, we're not going to pass 2 dragons. Let's let the, 2, 4, if we play a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand, maybe we can let the, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 3. Let's let the 3 go. Let's see, and maybe this dragon. Let's let the white dragon go. So let's do that. I'm thinking 2, 4, 6, 8. That would maximize the potential here. Okay, we have a 2 and a 4, so that was a good choice. 2, 4. Here's a 4. We can let the 7 go and break up the 1. A little sad that we have to do that, but look at the tiles we have with 2, 4, 6, 8. We could even play that 4th hand down. We have no gaps for that hand. The 2 crack is really the only weakness there. The 8, no, that's not true, because we need to pung the 4, or we need to Kong the 4 and the 6. So there are weaknesses there. I would hold that 8, and probably at this point I would let the green dragon go. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Is this the first left? I think. Yes. So that was the first left. Okay, now here, this is where it's going to be interesting. Everyone is passing. No one passed blind, which is good. And now we're finding out who's going to stop the Charleston, and nobody wants to stop the Charleston. So everybody wants to continue to develop their hand. Oh, wait a minute. Who just stopped the Charleston? Oh, oops, I accidentally picked no. Oops, that would be me. That was a mistake. I made a mistake. Probably because I was talking, I hit the wrong button. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to pass a white dragon? 2, 4, 6? I think so. Yeah, yikes. That was my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Okay, so someone could make a mistake during the Charleston, of course, just like I did. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
South wind.
There is no doubt, and someone out there is no doubt complaining. Yeah.
1 dot.
I'm sure people are complaining that I just
South
stopped the
wind.
Charleston. I still have a ways to go, but we do have a hand with no
1
gaps. Okay, now there's a 2.
1 dot.
One of the hands I was thinking about when I was making that decision is the
7
second hand
dots.
down under evens. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 suit with Kongs of like numbers
8 characters.
that are evens. So we could maybe do 2, 4, 6, 8 with 4s. Potentially. 2, 4, 6, 8 with 4s.
2 characters.
Second hand down or the fourth hand down. Okay, now there's a hesitation. You see that? That is a hesitation. Somebody has a 2 crack and they didn't take it. So the player to our left discarded it. We're in evens. So that means one of these other 2 players here has a 2 crack. The game would not pause on them if they didn't have a 2 crack. So I know one of those other 2 players has a 2 crack.
1 bamboo.
And we need a pair there. Now the player on our right discarded a 3 bam. There's a 3 bam from the player on the left, but also the player across from us discarded a 1. So my thought is
1 character.
they're not playing 1, 2, 3 consecutive run. They're probably not playing a year hand, discarding 3s. Let's see, we would need to Kong that, so we're not going to take it. And then also I would think they're not playing a year hand.
1 character.
There goes another 1. So
North wind.
we'll just have to continue to watch and learn, gather intel.
Green dragon.
We might be able to get a joker exchange out of that 2 crack.
4 dots.
Okay, there goes another 4. So I'm thinking
white dragon.
We don't have to make a choice yet. We have
White
a discard,
dragon.
the 7 dot. There's a joker.
7 dots.
All right, so now we have 2, 4, 6 in bands.
9 dots.
I mean crack or dots, sorry. 2, 4,
South
6 in
wind.
dots. 8 crack was
North
just
wind.
discarded. There's a flower. All right, so we have to make a choice here now. Let's see, 2, 4. Let's let the 2 crack go. Because
2
we could
characters.
switch. Here we go. Let's see. There's a hesitation again on the 2. But they're not ready. All right. So anyway, here's 2, 4, 6, 8 right there.
7 bamboo.
That would be an option. The
3
other option
dots.
we could do is the first hand. So we could do 2, 4, 6, 8 first hand. Or we could do 2, 4, 6, 8 fourth hand.
4 bamboos.
We can pass. 3 crack we don't need.
3 characters.
Although we maybe could have. Okay, now here's another hesitation. 2, 3. Uh-oh, Riley. Uh-oh. I'm gonna mute.
Pung.
There's a delivery guy here, so Riley is freaking out.
5 characters.
I'm gonna mute again because I don't want you to hear him freak out. I forgot to put him in the back.
5.
Okay, we have a pair of flowers now.
Dragon.
I'm thinking we'll throw the 3 dot probably and still play 2, 4,
9 dots.
6, 8. First hand or fourth hand. Okay, he's still grumbling. They're getting ready to leave. So
Bamboo.
he's our little guard dog. Okay, I think they're leaving now. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. Thinking these flowers need to go.
West
2, 4,
wind.
4, 6, 8. There's a 6. Okay, we're gonna let the flower go.
Flower.
I think that's the first flower out.
Kong.
Joker exchange.
8 bamboos.
So, and we're gonna Kong,
Kong.
and now we're gonna take a Joker.
Flower.
No. And then now we're gonna let the 8 dot go.
8 dots.
Okay, now this 4 crack, we need
8
that 4
bamboos.
crack. We need a 4 dot. There are 2 out.
5
We're gonna
dots.
need 2 Jokers for that 4 dot. Okay, so now this 8 crack is locked
7
in.
characters.
Maybe we'll draw another flower. We need some help here.
Flower.
Oh, darn. Oh, did they get it? They didn't take the flower.
6 dots.
That was interesting. Huh. All right, well, we can Kong the 6 crack.
bamboos.
We need 2 Jokers for this 4 dot.
5 characters.
So if someone doesn't take a Joker, they either, oh, it was an oversight, or they don't need it because they're waiting on a
4
pair.
characters.
Oh, that's our tile.
Mahjong.
Oh, it was there. There's the 2 crack. They had the 2 crack to the right. They were in our business. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that hesitation was this player right here. This player was throwing 1s. So I knew they weren't playing with 2s, and I knew they weren't doing little odds. They're doing, oh, they have 2, 3, 4, 5. They're playing a gap hand in 1 suit. They threw a 1 bam and a 1 crack. I wonder, yeah, there's a 4 bam in front of them. 2, 3, huh? I don't know what they're doing there. Okay, and over here, 1, 9 with 3, 5, 7 in the middle. Second hand from the bottom under odds. Okay, isn't that a telltale sign of needing a pair? Typically, yes. And that player who did not pick up the Joker or the Joker exchange, I think it was an oversight because they were playing 1, 9 with 3, 5, 7 in the middle, and they did not have, they could have used that Joker. So I think it was an oversight. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully, here we go. I was going to say, hopefully we don't have to wait too long. So I'll, when there's some kind of a tell, I'll shout it out so you know what kind of tells you might see online. Hesitation is a big tell. And at Mahjong Time, you get the little circle, the little yellow circle. And then another tell would be, okay, for during the Charleston, as a reminder, anybody passing blind, stopping the Charleston, or negotiating low. Those are all red flags or tells. Okay, we have a pair of 6s. So whatever we do, we're going to use that. We have 6, 7 here. We also have a little bit of 3, 6, 9. I would keep the 4s because if we get 5s, we might be able to do 4, 5, 6. If we get 2s and 8s, we might be able to do 2, 4, 6, 8. So right now we have 3, 6, 9, 6, 7 consecutive run, or yeah, I would just leave it there. Okay, here's a 5 and a 9. So I would say 4, 5, 6 or 3, 6, 9. 4, 5, 6. That is far more flexible than, let's say, 3, 6, 9. I would let 3, 6, 9 go. 3, 4. There's 3, 4. Let's let the 9 go. There's a 6. So maybe what we can do here is let's say the 9 dot and the 7 crack go. That would mitigate a little bit of risk. All right, here we go. So 3, 4, 5, 6. We're targeting the multiples here, and we're playing consecutive run. So we're streamlined. Let's see. We've got 9s and a 1. We don't want to pass that. That would be risky. So now we have to make a choice. Let's see. Let's just see if 3, 9, 6 crack, 3, 6, 9 bam. If we get a flower, we might be able to play the second hand down. Let's let the 4 bam go. So we do still have some potential in here for 3, 6, 9, but it's pretty weak. Okay, now we have a 3 and an 8. So we have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, no 7. There's a 3, 6 here. Excuse me. Yes, we want to keep going. I am not going to accidentally click no this time. So at this point, we need to make some choices. The south can go. We have 4, 5, 6. We have 3s and a 6. We have some 3, 6, 9 potential in here, but it's pretty scant. Hi, Sue. Welcome. So some 3, 6, 9. Here's another 9, 9 dot. Okay. So it looks like it's this hand wants to be a 3, 6, 9 hand, seemingly. All right. Now we're going to have to probably pass risky. We have 6, 9, 6, 9, and a 3. Let's see. 6, 9, 7, 8. We have a hand in here with no gaps. 5, 6, 7, 8, no gaps. 3, 6, 9 is weak. Let's see here. We can let the 9 dot go. And then let's see here. 6 bam. We still have the 3, 6, 9 in mixed suits if we can get flowers. But I would say 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be better. Okay, here's an 8 or a 9. Let's see. We're going to switch back to consecutive run. And I don't think that we've made any wrong decision. I don't think we've lost ground because we still have potential. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, no gaps. Second hand down on the right. So we were kind of in between, or we went back and forth from consecutive run to 3, 6, 9, back to consecutive run. I think that's going to be the way to go here. And we have 3 tiles to pass. We have options with our other suit. And we're negotiating fully here. So no red flags during the Charleston yet. Okay. I didn't see what this other person, did they? Okay, there's a red flag right there. 1 tile. The player to the left negotiated low. So there is a tell right there. So we're going to keep an eye on what this player calls for. Okay, now here we have 2, 4, 6, 8 tiles, but it's also part of our run.
9 characters.
It's 5 through 8 of some kind.
1 dot.
Okay, so they threw a 1. Interesting.
2
Okay, so we have
dots.
5, 6 dots, 7, 8 bam. There's no gaps for that hand.
9 bamboos.
We could Kong the 6 and the 8. We
1
could even
character.
Pung the 5 or the 7. We
4
need 1 good
characters.
pick and we'll be set. Okay, now here though, we have a flower. We could play
4
6
bamboos.
dot, 7 crack, 8 bam, Kongs with a pair of flowers. Maybe.
8 characters.
I think this 6 bam can go, and probably the 8 crack can go now that it's out there. I'm thinking 5, 6, 7, 8,
bamboos.
and that would be our tile. We have no gaps, so I would go ahead and Pung.
Pung.
And then we'll let the flower go because we're not going to use it.
Flower.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, we're digging in. Second hand down on the right.
4 dots.
We can Kong the 6, we can Kong the 8 bam, or pung the
One
5.
dragon.
So we have 3 discards right now. We're at 89 tiles. We're still in the begin game. So anyone looking at me
7 bamboos.
would be
1 dot.
should be concerned because we're playing not
Red
aggressively.
dragon.
We're not playing aggressively. We're being assertive. We're playing to win with strength. Probably they
4 dots.
probably would think, okay, she knows what hand she's playing, and she's expediting her hand
Flower.
development by claiming a discard even with a joker. So that would be a red flag on the play.
5 characters.
And by the way, that player who negotiated low in the Charleston
8 characters.
got our joker. And that's fine though, because we're 1 away from set. So I think the
5
risk
dots.
is warranted. It's okay. Now here, do we want to risk again? I say yes.
Pung.
We may risk losing it,
3
but
dots.
we can Kong the 6. We need 1 good pick for the 8.
South
My
wind.
thought is we're ahead. We're a front runner. So the risk is worth it.
South wind. 7 bamboos.
Okay, we don't need a 6 crack.
6 characters.
So we have 2 discards.
5 dots.
It may look like we're playing big odds, 5, 7, 7, 9. We did lose the
3
joker, but that's
bamboos.
all right. We're playing a hand of least resistance here.
Kong.
Oh, there's a joker up for grabs right there.
8 characters. North wind.
Oh, we just discarded that.
6 characters. 3 bamboos. 8 dots. Pung. 9 bamboos.
Okay, we don't need 4.
4 dots. 5 dots. North wind. 6 bamboos.
Oh, flower. We don't want to hold on to that.
Flower.
We're at 68 tiles. We're coming in two picks away from the
South
very middle of the
wind.
game. So
North
we're
wind.
still looking good. There's a joker here.
Flower.
Oh, we don't need to hold a year tile.
2 characters.
So with an 8-dot pung, they could be playing the second hand from the bottom under consecutive run, but they could also
9
be playing
characters.
8, 9, 8, 9. But the 9s seem to be going down, and they have a
East
9
wind.
bam in front of them. 2 9 cracks are out. So my
8
guess,
dots.
oh, they got their joker back.
5 bamboos.
I think they're doing 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 8. So we're
6
gonna
bamboos.
let the bams go here, or the 6, 7, 6 bam. I think they need that for a pair on the left. Did you see that hesitation? That is a tell. And I think it's this
1
player on the left.
character.
I think they're playing 6, 7, 8, 8.
5 bamboos.
Just in case we're going to let the 7 crack
2
go.
dots.
And that's the kind of, well, the flower is more risky.
Flower.
Another hesitation on the flower.
2 bamboos.
But now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out.
5 bamboos.
If they're playing 6, 7, 8, 8, they're going to
8
need.
bamboos.
Okay, now we need a Kong for that, so we need to pass. We're going to need a joker.
7 characters.
No hesitation on the 7 crack.
2 bamboos.
We have 2 1s here that should be okay. Let me see.
3 characters.
I know there's a 1 crack right there. The 1 bam is an unseen tile, so we're going to let that go next.
7 characters. 1 bamboo.
There's 1 3 dot out because we're going into the end game now in 2 picks. So we want to make sure we have safe discards. So we kind of make that switch from unseen tiles that might have been useful for joker exchange
6 characters.
to now holding safe tiles for the last
1 character.
the last leg of the game.
6 bamboos.
Okay, let's see. 4 bam, 1 is out.
4 bamboos.
Now with an 8-dot pung, they could be playing 5 through 9 in one
5
suit.
characters.
Let's see, there's a 5-dot out. None of those tiles are out.
4
So
dots.
they could be playing 5 through 9, which means they might
8
have a
dots.
6-dot. They might have our 6-dot over there. If they're playing 5 through
3
9.
dots.
They might have even given up on 6, 7, 8, 8 because of the 7s. Oh no, somebody lost connection. So maybe they're playing 5 through 9. So I've changed my mind, which is my prerogative. And it's yours too. You can change your mind. So I think they're playing
8
5 through 9.
characters.
They may have our 6-dot.
2 characters.
I think at the time, this 7 bam, I still think they were playing
White
6, 7, 8,
dragon.
8, but they exchanged the 7 and went a different way. I think that's what happened. We're going to hold that south for later.
2 bamboos.
Okay, let's see. If they are playing 5 through 9, I have their
2 dots.
5. Oh, you're right. So that's a good,
2 bamboos.
thank you. I didn't look at my own exposure.
8
I hope they're not
bamboos.
playing 5 through, oh, we're going to need 2 jokers now. Okay, we do not want to hold a dragon.
Green
Good catch,
dragon.
Wes.
Pung.
So let's see, how many 6s are out?
dragon.
3. With an 8-dot pung, maybe they switch to 8, 9, 8, 9, which is a hand of least
3
resistance.
dots.
So you cannot disqualify them
5
for that
characters.
hand. Let's see, 6 crack, 3 are out. 3 of each of these are out already.
1 character.
These should be safe discards.
9 bamboos. East wind. 2 dots.
Okay.
1 dot. 9 bamboos.
I'm curious just to see what
East
is going
wind.
on over here to the left. Even what's going on across from
1
us. Look at the
dot.
2 bams out there.
1 bamboo.
They have 3 bams in front of them. They might have been trying for 3, 6, 9 over here, but the 9s were
Pung.
really going down. There's a 1. Okay, so they're doing
East wind.
1, 2, 3, but the 2 bams are thrown.
3 characters.
1, 3 Kongs. The 2s are down. Uh-oh, west. There are no wests
6
out,
characters.
except there are easts out. Nobody's playing
7
with a west,
characters.
and nobody's playing a quint. So this west should be
West
fine.
wind.
There it is right there. Their easts are
7
right here.
characters. West
Okay, now the
wind.
4, 1 is out. That's going to be a bit risky. With a
9
4 crack though,
characters.
a pung of
3
dragons,
dots.
a pung of dragons is not going to use a 4.
Flower.
So I don't think we are going to be.
Mahjong.
Oh, here we go. All right, now we have aha. So here we go. 2, 3 2 year hand with 2s, and over here they're doing 1, 1, 2, 3, but they have 2 bams in front of them. So I'm confused. Over here, 6, 7, 8, 9, pung kong, pung kong. So they might have been 5 through 9 and then gave up on it, perhaps. All right, let's play again. Okay, so let's see here. With tells, since we're waiting, with tells, you're going to need to get to know the people you're playing with to interpret them with accuracy. If you are playing in a drop-in game or you're playing in a tournament, you need to really watch them in the first game that you play and then compare it to the behavior in the second game. in order to use the intel in the third and fourth game. If you're playing in, let's say, a tournament, a lot of times these tells are not going to be very helpful long term. It's really short term. So tells typically are you have more ability to interpret correctly when you know the players. So take all that with a grain of salt. Maybe I should play in more tournaments to test that theory out. All right, we have 3, 5, 7, which are all odds. Oh, but you know, we have a gap. No 1, no 9, and those are pairs. So I'm thinking we might need to play 3, 4, 5. We don't need this 9 either way. Okay, so we have 3, 4, 5, and a 7. Okay, here's a 3. So there's 3, 4, 5. The dragon can go. We have 3s. We have all the 3s. So there's some potential in here for like numbers. 3, 4, 5, 3, 3, 3, 5. Wins. We don't need the wins. I think we need to break up the 7. And I think we should pass the dragon as well. So we're looking at 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have a 4 now and a 1. We have little odd potential at this point, 1, 3, 5, but we have like numbers with 7s. I would not pass those. So I would focus on consecutive run 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 dot pair there. I'm hoping we'll get a 2 dot. We could do 2, 3, 4, 5, pung kong, or maybe a 1 dot. We could play little odds. Here's a 2 crack, 2 crack, and a 7. We don't want to pass like numbers. Okay, so now, is anyone going to stop the Charleston? No. So here we go. East and 7 can go. 2, 3, 4, 5, no gaps. Second hand down on the left. We have a 3 dot pair that we're not really using, but really the 3, 4 and bams with a 5 crack pair is not going to be helpful. So let's let the 4 bam go. I'm kind of hoping that we get a 2 dot. We got a 3 dot and a 1. Okay. So there's a 1. Here's a 3. We have no flowers. You might think, well, maybe we could play the third hand down under odds. But the challenge there is we have no flowers. That would be a gap. Try not to play a gap hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 3 dot pung now. We could maybe try for that and hope for a flower, but that's not a good way to play the game. You don't want to play the game on hope. Hope and a prayer, that's helpful in life overall, but not necessarily in Mahjong. So let's hold the 1 bam. We have 2 clear discards. I would pass blind here. This would be a red flag. If you're sitting at my table and I pass 2, that would be a red flag. That's a tell. Passing low or short, I guess. Maybe someone will pass us a flower. We have 1, 3, 5. If we can get a flower, I would play that third hand down. Look, we got the 2. Awesome. Now we have a hand with no gaps, and that means we can free up more discards because now we have a hand with no gaps. 2, 3, 4, 5. They want 3. Now this is a little bit risky, passing 1, 2, 3 like that, or south 2, 3. But we are playing a hand of least resistance, and we have joker bait, so I would risk it. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. All right. So we have 1, 3, 5 if we get a flower, or 2, 3, 4, 5 if we don't. There's a red flag. 1 tile. Okay, we have 3 discards and 2 hands with
4
no,
dots.
well, 1 with a gap, 1 without. 3 discards with joker bait.
South
I'd say we're a
wind.
contender.
South wind. East wind.
Okay, now here's a 3. We really don't need that.
6 dots.
That 3, not helpful, because we have a 3 dot pung and a pair of 5 cracks.
2 characters.
If that 3 dot were a 3 crack, then yes,
5
it would be
dots.
great. Oh, don't need wins.
West wind. East wind. 6 dots.
Okay, we're gonna pass. Wait,
White dragon.
2 bam, 1, 2. So there's some consecutive coming in there.
6 dots. West wind.
Oh, what?
8 dots. 2 characters.
Oh, 8 bam pair. That's joker bait. I'd rather
3
keep
bamboos.
joker bait as opposed to options. Let's see.
Kong.
2
bamboos.
Okay, there's a 3 bam with a joker there.
2 bamboos. 4 dots. 3 characters. 2 dots.
That would be a pung for us, and I would take it.
Pung. 9 characters.
2, 3, 4, 5, pung, kong, pung, kong. We're ready to kong the 3. We just need help
6
with our 4, 5
characters.
a little bit right there.
East wind. 8 dots.
Okay, we don't need a 6.
6 dots. 1 dot. North wind.
We need keepers. How about a 3 bam?
Flower.
How about a 2 dot? A 1 dot. 1, 3. I suppose we
1
could keep
bamboo.
that if we get a 3 crack. Oh, no. We're committed.
2 dots.
We have a 2 dot pair, or pair, pung. So the
Flower.
1 bam didn't have any. No bite. Nobody
3
bit
bamboos.
at that little bit of joker bait there.
5 characters.
Somebody got that. Oh, darn, that's our tile. And they got a
9
joker over
dots.
here.
Pung.
Oh, we got skipped, but there's a joker.
6 characters.
9 dot pung. 9 dot 7899 is what they're doing. Okay, now over here we have 3, 4 dragon. Nicely done there. 3, 4 dragon. Over here we have 7899. 7, 8 crack, 9 bam, 9 dot. And then over here 5779, pair of dragons, probably joker bait. And then over here 2, 3, 4, 5. We have joker bait right there. Oh, darn. All right, next game. Oh gosh, why are people so confused about about calling Ah. A discard can only be used. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. Can a joker? Oh my gosh. A thread is just going rampant on my Facebook page. Dang it. Sorry about that. Okay, we have a 3-crack pair. 3-crack pair. 1, 2, 3. 3-crack pair. We don't need 8s. There are 3 8s here, but we have a much better chance at 1, 2, 3. There is some 2, 4, 6, 8, but we have no 4. I probably would hold on to wins. We could maybe swing something with wins, but we have to let something go. I think I would let the wins go. No west, that's a gap. No 4, that's a gap for 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, that's what we're doing. 1, 2, 3. We got a keeper and a maybe. So here's a 3, here's a 4. Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3. Maybe we could do east and west with a run. Second hand down on the right. Okay, so let's let the 4 dot go. We have 2 dot, 2, 3 in cracks. 6, 7. We don't need any of these. So let's see here. Let's maybe pass 7. That's a little bit risky here, but let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 2. East and west with a run. No gaps. Yep, here we go. We need options, I think, still. Because we only have 1 multiple. 1, 2, 3 with east and west, or 1, 2, 3 with flowers. We got a 2. That worked out well. Okay, now we can pass these 3, no problem. All right, here we go. West, west. No. Who's going to stop the Charleston? Nobody. All right, so here we go. I'm thinking east and west with a run, or 5th hand down on the left. 1 suit, 1, 2, 3. It'd be nice if we can get an east and a west. Okay, now here is a year tile. We have potential for the first hand under wins. I mean, under the year. I think I would switch. East and west with a run. We're going across. I would let the wins go. So the first year hand or the 5th hand down under, let's do 9 with a 6. 5th hand down under consecutive run. 1, 2, 3 with flowers, or the first year hand. We have 5 discards at the moment. Oh, we got a keeper. That was a good choice then. No regrets either way. Let's see how many our opponent wants. 3. We can do 3. Okay. This 1 crack is a discard. And we have a 3, but it's really not helpful. We have 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 4. I still think we should focus on that. Let's see here. 2, 3, first
4
hand.
bamboos.
First hand under odds. I mean, under the year.
East wind.
Oh my goodness. A 2, 3. All
8
right. So we
dots.
have 2, 3, 2, 3, pong, kong, pong, kong. That just
3
kind of worked
dots.
out that way. We're not ready for that 3 dot though. 2, 3, 2, 3, sixth hand
4
down
dots.
is much stronger than this year hand. I suppose we
9
could keep
dots.
the white dragon for a little bit.
1 character. 6 bamboos.
What?
7 dots.
My computer's going wayward. 2, 3, 2, 3, I think is what we
North
should play. Winds can go.
South wind.
I'm thinking the flower should go next. We can pung the 2s. We could kong the 3. We're going to need a joker for the 3 dot.
7 bamboos.
I would say we're a
6
contender here.
bamboos.
We're at 86 tiles.
9 characters.
Okay,
Flower.
there's another 3.
Kong.
Oh, good. We get another turn.
5 bamboos.
Oh.
6 characters.
Okay, we have all 2 through 5. 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5.
Red
These
dragon.
BAMs can go, definitely.
2 characters.
We could pung
Pung.
and discard 5 BAM.
5 bamboos.
All right, now we can pung the 2 dot and kong the 3.
White dragon.
We're going to need a joker for the 3 dot. So
3 characters.
we still, okay, there we go. We're going to kong.
Kong.
We can discard the 4.
4 bamboos.
A white dragon is out, so I would let that go.
2 bamboos.
2, 3, 2, 3, pung, kong, pung,
9
kong.
dots.
6 hand down under consecutive run.
North wind. White dragon. 2 bamboos.
We need a joker for our 3 dot.
Kong.
Okay, now let's see. 5 crack.
White dragon.
That is available.
8 characters.
5 crack.
5 dots.
Oh, 9 crack.
9 characters. 2 bamboos. 2 characters. 9
We
dots.
need 5 crack would be really nice, or a joker, I suppose. Oh, 2 BAM. 3 are out. 2 4 BAMs are out. No 3 BAMs are out.
3 bamboos. 9 dots. Flower.
Okay, 5 flowers are out.
8 dots.
Joker.
4 bamboos.
Excellent. Woohoo!
3 bamboos.
So now we have what we need.
1 bamboo.
It's 60. We're at 60 tiles remaining. This is a very good
6
place to be
characters.
at the moment.
South wind.
2 3 2 3. It'd be nice if we can draw to keep the rest of
Red
this
dragon.
concealed, because there are a couple of hands we could be playing. The first hand under consecutive run,
East wind.
or the second hand down. And then, of course, we could be playing 2 3 2 3, which is what we're doing here. We could also be playing the year hand, although the white dragons are down. So they're probably going to know that.
4 dots.
Joker! All right.
2 bamboos.
We're good to go now. Ready to win on a double weight? 2 3.
North wind.
I'd say we have a really good chance of winning this one. It's not a
4
guarantee,
dots.
but we have a pretty good, we have strong potential.
7 bamboos.
There it is, Mahjong. We got the Mahjong, 2 3 2 3, 2 3 2 3. I think this is the first win today. It's taken a while. We're going to be on a roll. I can feel it. 2, 3, 2, 3. Jokers do help. Here we have 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, one away from ready on a hand of least resistance there. Here we have news with dragons. They needed more red dragons. And 2 were down. They needed jokers. 7, 8, quint. Whoa. Ready to win on a 7 crack. Oh, man. They're probably not very happy with me. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Thank you for the kudos. All right, we have a wide spread. For the predominant pattern, I always look for like numbers and then use those like numbers to help me identify the predominant pattern. That's one way to do it. The other way would be to look for consecutive run, but we have 2 2s, 2 4s, 2 2s, 2 4s, 2 5s. Therefore, we're going to play consecutive run. There is some potential for evens, so we could maybe play evens. Let's just see what comes in. We have no 3s. So here's a 2 and a 4. 2, 4. There's our first multiple. So we can reassess. With that pair of 4s, we don't need an east-west. We have no 3. So that east-west is not helpful. We have a 2, 4 in dots, 6, 8 in cracks, no gaps. We also have 4, 5, 4, 5. So probably the 2 bam could go, or really this 9 dot we definitely don't need. That might be a better choice with the green dragon. This could go next. We have 2, 4 dots, 6, 8 in cracks, 2, 4, 6, 8, third hand down on the right under evens, or we can do 4, 5, 4, 5, sixth hand down. And either way, we did not use the 2s or the west. All right, now here's a 6. We could hold that. We have 4, 5, 6 now. 2, 4, 6, 8 in there. Some 2, 4, 6, 8. West can go 9 with a 2. Bam, I think that can go. We do have some 2, 4, 6, 8 in here still. Four, 5, 4, 5, or 2, 4, 6, 8. Both are hands of least resistance. All right, now here's a 6 and a 3, our first 3. We could maybe switch to 2, 3, 4 of some kind. We have a 4, 5, 6 and a 4, 5, 6. Yes, we want to keep going. So let's see here. The 9, let's see, 9 dot 3 bam can go. We have 4, 5, 6 two ways. 2, 4, 6, 8, no gaps with 2 multiples. 2, 4 dot 6, 8 crack. So I would let the 2 crack go probably. Or the 6 here. Oh, I would not, I don't want to pass 3, 6, 9. All 3, 6, 9, that would be risky. So 2, 4, 6, 8, pung kong, pung kong. Although now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, that would also allow us to play a hand of least resistance there. 3 dot 4 dot 5, 6 in cracks. So let's see here. The 6 dot probably can go 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4 dot 6, 8 in cracks, or 3, 4, 5, 6. Either of those would use both multiples. And we have tiles we can pass. 6 crack pair, 4 dot pair. We don't want to be left with, oops, like number or one suit 8-9. One suit 8-9, super risky. Oh, we got a keeper. Nice. Okay, we have 3 tiles to pass for sure. Let's see here. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, or 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8, or 3, 4, 5, 6. Either way, we did not use the 5 here or this 8. Maybe we could pass 3, 8. Okay, so here 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 2, 4, 6, 8. Whichever comes in. We got a 5. So then we know what we're doing now. Okay, we're the dealer. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have, well, let's get rid of that dragon.
Green dragon.
We have 5 discards in a
9
hand.
bamboos.
5 discards in a hand with no gaps.
5 bamboos.
No gaps and 3 multiples. That's pretty good, but I'd say that we're an underdog.
4 bamboos.
Maybe a contender, because let's see, for we really don't need 3. We don't need that flower. I would say we're an underdog because we've got 5 discards, but we are playing a hand of least
1
resistance.
dragon.
So we're at the heels of
3
contenders.
bamboos.
So one good pick and we could be a contender.
North wind.
Or even if we
North
claim a
wind.
discard in the begin game for maybe
East
the
wind.
5 or the 4, we could pung the 5 and Kong the 4.
8 characters.
That would help us bump up to contender.
6 dots.
There's a hesitation.
9 dots.
Oh, here's a 5, 6, 7, 8 in there. But let's see here. Let's
5
just put them.
bamboos.
We'll just put them all together here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6 is
6
the
characters.
strongest potential. That is a Kong for us, and we're not ready, so we have to pass.
Two bamboos.
Okay, 6 bam. 3. We really don't need any of these
3
right now.
bamboos. 7 characters. 8 bamboos. 8 bamboos.
We don't need east.
East wind. 6 dots. 8 characters. 4 bamboos.
Okay, 8 crack. Oh, there's Joker bait for us. We're going to hold that. Let's see. We're doing the 7 crack can go.
7 characters.
8 crack just went down. So 2, 4, 6,
6
8.
bamboos.
I wouldn't be distracted by that. There's our Joker bait. There really wasn't much of a reaction to that.
White
So I would
dragon.
let that go. We're in the
8 dots.
middle game. So I would say we're an
1
underdog
dot.
because we've not made any movement with our hand development.
2 dots.
Okay, so that 2 dot can go. 3, 4, 5, 6 is what we're doing.
Green dragon.
So these are discards. The 6 bam is probably not going to be good Joker bait.
West wind.
We need a keeper. Big hesitation on the west. Okay, so they're committing.
2 bamboos.
They have a west. Since there's a north in front of them, I'm thinking they're doing east and west with a run.
9 bamboos.
Joker.
8 characters.
We need it. We need that for the 6 crack.
3 bamboos.
So we have 2 discards in Joker bait, but nobody wanted the 6. So 4 discards. I was at
3
64 tiles. Okay, we're going to pung.
Pung.
We'll now let the 2 go.
2 dots.
I would say we may be a contender at this point now that we have an
4
exposure.
bamboos.
We can Kong the 4.
Red dragon.
We're going to need a joker for the 6 still. Maybe we'll get our 3. We could pung the 5. Crack. 5 crack.
7 dots.
All right, now we're good.
5
All right,
dots.
I'd say we bumped up to front runner now with that joker.
6 characters.
There we go. Kong.
Kong.
And now we can throw the 6 bam.
6 bamboos.
3, 4, 5, 6 pung kong. We're set to go.
7 characters.
And we are in the middle game. This turned around very quickly in the middle game.
Red dragon.
With just a couple of good picks, you can bump up.
6 bamboos. Green dragon.
So we have a good discard here. Good safe discard.
5 dots. 1 dot. 8 dots.
Okay, 5 dot, 2 are out. So we can let that go.
5 dots.
6 bam, 3 are out.
8 characters. 5 bamboos.
I would
White
love to
dragon.
draw our jokers. No ones are
1
out
character.
yet. No 1 crack anyway. Um,
1 character. 9 characters.
what?
Three dots. 7 characters. South wind. Mahjong.
Somebody else was ahead of us. We had another front runner. Interesting. I think they threw a north because they only needed a single. Okay, so here we have 2, 3, 4 Kongs probably, or 1, 2 quint. Oh, we already looked at that one. Over here, they're doing I have no clue. No clue. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. Let's jump over here. Hopefully they'll come join us. Okay, here we go. Hi, Marilyn. All right. So we have a pair of 7 dots and a pair of west winds. We have 7, 8, 6, 7. So let's go with middle tiles. Really, these are edge tiles. 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. With the winds, I don't think, unless we draw or get 7s, we can maybe go for a quint. 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's see what happens. We're a little bit encumbered by the jokers, which I'm not complaining. It's wonderful to have jokers, but we have fewer tiles to deal with. Okay, so here's east and west. We could maybe do east and west with a run. Here's a dragon. I think I would let the dragon go. 6, 7, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, east and west. Quint with 7s. 2, 4 is a little risky. I think we should let the 8 crack go. We could do 6, 7, 6, 7 gap hand, or we can do 6, 7, 8 and use the jokers for the 8 dot, 6, 7, 8 dot with east and west. or we can do a quint with 7s in the west. We've got options. We got an east and a 5. East and west with a run. Looks pretty good to me. Now 5, 6, 5, 6. We need a pair. We need pairs of both of those. So it would be really nice if we can get a 5 or a 6 in the rest of this Charleston. We got the 7 back. Okay. We definitely want to keep going. I think we should just keep going and pass these along. Part of me still wants to keep that 7, but we have east and west paired up. East and west with a run. We don't need to get greedy. This 5, 6 though, that's a bit risky. All right, we have discards here. Looks like nobody wants the dragon. Okay, good. Dave is home. He can take care of Riley. We keep getting that 7. We're going to just keep passing it forward. Play it forward. Wait. We can do 3, but I like to be reactive. No keepers. All right, we're looking out for east and west.
Two bamboos.
We got a west.
9 characters.
We need 5, 6 and dots. We can't go far without that. We can Kong the 7 and pung the east.
6 bamboos.
We have 2 discards. I'd say we're a front runner, but we've got weakness here with the 5, 6. We need these paired up.
4 bamboos.
I'll pass. We do not need jokers.
6 bamboos.
We need a 5 dot or a 6 dot.
9 bamboos.
Hesitation there. We need a 5, 6 dot. Now, the
4
other thing we
bamboos.
could do is we could, if we get an 8 dot, I would
3
discard the
characters.
5 and keep the 8.
9 bamboos.
So an 8 dot would be an awesome keeper
1
here.
bamboo.
We could do 6, 7, 8 and Kong the 8. If the east goes down, I would pung.
3 bamboos. 3 characters.
So 8 dot would be an ideal pick, or a 5, 6.
7 bamboos.
Either way,
2 bamboos.
5 dot, 6 dot,
5 characters.
or an 8 dot.
Nine dots. 5 characters.
We got the 8 dot. There it is. Okay,
4
so now
bamboos.
we can let that 5 dot go. We could Kong the 8. We'll be ready on a 6.
9 bamboos.
It would still be nice if we can draw the 6. But we're set. We can pung the east and Kong the 8.
3 bamboos.
It'd be nice though if we can draw that 6 so that we don't
4 bamboos.
put ourselves in a vulnerable position.
3 bamboos.
Or I say a vulnerable state. Sorry. I have
2
kind
bamboos.
of a croupy throat, I guess.
2 dots.
Okay, we need to keep her in here. 6
7
dot would be
bamboos.
ideal. Oh, an 8. That'll do. Now we
5
can stay
bamboos.
stealth mode now. Unless we want to go pure. We could try for a pure hand, but with 2 jokers, probably not.
7 characters. Seven characters.
So we're looking for an 8 dot or an east
7
here.
characters.
That'll work. We're ready to win
5
now
dots.
on a 6 dot here. So
East wind.
we're going to pass. If we punged that, we would have to throw away a
8
joker,
dots.
which would spook the table. Since we're, yeah, same thing. We don't want to spook the table here. We're ready on a single tile. If we discard an 8, a joker, it's going to spook people.
1 bamboo.
So I think we're just going to not go for a pure hand. We're ready to win on a 6 dot. Somebody else is
3
playing
bamboos.
wins. Spook them? No, I don't want to spook the table.
Eight dots.
Okay, we're going to let it go.
Green dragon.
Oh, okay, now let's just keep it.
West wind.
So we have east, west, 8s. Part of me is thinking if we can
6 bamboos.
force a quint, but it's kind of late to do that.
4 dots.
The 8s are down. I wouldn't change anything. We're just going to sit tight. We're ready
4
to
dots.
win on a 6 dot. There it is. Mahjong. We got it. We got the Mahjong. Our tile was in the wall. Oh, no. Here's somebody with a 6 dot. So east and west with a run. Here's our 6 dot right here. They're playing like numbers with 1s. Over here we have, looks like 2, 4, 6, 8 gap hand. And then over here we have another gap hand, 1 through 5 or north and south with a run. Maybe. Thank you. Thank you for the kudos. Okay, we're going to play one more game for this live stream. One more game. You ready? Let's hope for a nice strong deal. I'm still waiting for my hand from heaven. I would love to get a hand from heaven. I think that would be fun. Kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity or chance, I suppose. We're waiting for a player, and then we can play our last game. Thank you, Karen. Wait a minute. Okay. we have a pair of 8s. We have 8s. No 4. We do have a 6. No 4. Some 2, 4, 6, 8. Definitely can't use 1s with 8s. Maybe we can try for a quint this time. 1, 3. A little bit risky here. Let's let a wind go. There's a west. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. This is super risky. I don't think I would pass a 3. Let's let the west go. We let a south go. Maybe it'll come back. We still have potential for a quint, but we have only 1 joker, so I don't know. I don't think so. Let's see. There's the south. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Okay, so we do have a south now. So we do have some potential for that quint. We have a 2, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So maybe, let's see, if we play the 2, 4, 6, 8 quint, we need to keep the 8s. Oh, I suppose we could do 2s, a quint with 2s, but we have an extra 8 there to give us, there we go. Oh, well, 8 crack. Here's 8 crack. There's a 2 now, 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, now let's see here. We definitely want to keep going. South with an 8. We have a 2 bam here. We have 8s over here for maybe like numbers. We have to make a choice. Let's let the 8 dot go. If we get a 4 crack, maybe we could do 2, 4, 6, 8 in 1 suit. Hand to least resistance. Evens number 3. Oh, well, that's interesting. We have a 6, 7, 8 in there now. 6, 7, 8. That's much easier than 2, 4, 6, 8. We can streamline. Okay, here we go. Two, 4, 6, 8, or 6, 7, 8 of some kind, or maybe this quint. 5. Now we have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would let the 2 go here and play this hand of least resistance. 5, 6, 7, 8. Or maybe the quint. We have 3 discards plus joker bait. Really 4 discards and joker bait. I'd say, we're east? No, we're south. I'd say we're an underdog at the moment. Underdog at the moment here. Oh, we got a keeper. Okay, that's nice.
1 character.
So I would give up on the quint. Oh, here's a 9.
2 bamboos.
Now we have some potential for
1 character.
the first hand, 5 through 9.
Flower.
But our pairs, the 5 and the 9, we need at least one of these in
2
hand
dots.
before we commit. The south, we might be
5
able to get a
dots.
joker out of that.
7 dots. 1 bamboo. 6 bamboos.
Oh, there's the 2 again, but we have a pair of 7s.
2 characters. 4 dots. 4 characters. 3 bamboos.
Yeah, west can go.
West wind. 4 bamboos. Red dragon. West wind.
Okay, 5 bam can go.
5 bamboos. 2 bamboos.
If you ever
2
do get
characters.
a screenshot,
3 bamboos.
what do we want a screenshot for?
East wind.
5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, or
5
6, 7, 8,
characters.
9. Oh, I would wait a little bit. We're in between. We could,
4 dots.
if another 5 crack goes down, I would call it for a pung.
Green dragon.
And then do 5, 6, 7, 8 pung kong. Oh,
5 bamboos.
a heavenly hand screenshot. Okay.
5 characters.
Okay, there it is. I think we should go ahead and pung.
Pung.
We can do pung kong, pung kong.
8 dots.
5, 6 cracks, 7, 8. Because we can pung the 7 and kong the 8. We just need help with our
Flower.
6. And we can use jokers. We have 2 discards
East
plus
wind.
joker bait.
5 characters.
And I'm okay with that loss
6
there.
bamboos.
We're okay. Oh, I don't want a white dragon. Okay,
White dragon.
this south, we need to be careful here because there are no north-south. There are 2 east-south. Somebody could be playing
4
north
dots.
and south with a run,
7 bamboos.
or someone could be playing a quint. So after this next pick, we'll let the south
Green
go.
dragon. 9 characters.
There's a hesitation on that 9.
5 bamboos. 2 dots.
Okay, the person across from us,
Green dragon.
that was a pretty quick discard. We don't want to hold flowers.
flower.
There's a hesitation on the flower.
4 characters. West wind. South wind.
Okay, there's the south. And a big hesitation. Okay, joker.
8 bamboos.
That's going to help us with our 6. There's another hesitation. Okay, so south.
4
Somebody
characters.
is playing winds.
1 character. 7 bamboos.
We'll see what this next pick is. 8 band. Nobody wanted it. This is about when you want to start switching out
South wind.
your discards. It's discard planning for the end game. We want to hold safe tiles. Nobody wanted the 8. Nobody wants the south apparently now.
6 bamboos.
The 6 dot, that's an unseen tile
North
at the
wind.
moment. Okay, there goes. This is probably, okay, now there's another hesitation on the north.
Hung.
There it is on the right. We need to throw this south. They
7
could be playing a
bamboos.
quint over
2
there
bamboos.
because they hesitated on the south. We need to let the south go now.
4 characters. South wind.
All right, so they could be playing a quint, but they could also be playing north
2
and south with the
bamboos.
year. North and south
1
with dragons.
character.
Let's see, how many dragons are out? 3. One
8 dots.
white dragon is out.
East wind.
There's a hesitation on the east a little bit.
3 bamboos.
There are no red dragons out and only 1 white
2
dragon.
characters.
I'm thinking they're doing a year hand.
3 dots.
north and south with the year. But okay, so we need to
1
throw this
bamboo.
2 just in case. There is a 2 dot in front of them. So I don't think that they want that, but
7 dots.
I also am thinking they probably
4 dots.
don't have jokers for the south. They could be playing a quint though.
7 characters.
Okay, that's a pung for us.
Pung. 2 dots.
Okay, now let's look at the other 2s. There are 3 2 cracks out, and there are 4 2 bams out. So they're not playing the north and south with the year because all the
Flower.
2s are all out.
Mahjong.
Okay, it looks like they were trying for north and south with the year. They have a white dragon, but no 2s or 3s. Here's 579 dragon. 579 dragon, that's a nice hand. Over here, 369 concealed probably is what I think they're trying to do. And then over here, north and south with the year, I think is what they were hoping for. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the presentation on intel gathering. Basically, it's all about tells, and you can gather a lot of information when you're playing in person, not just about the tiles. The tiles come into play, but so do the people. You've got to increase your situational awareness and social acuity. So if you missed that presentation, after the repost, watch it and let me know what you think. And then try using those skills in your next game and let me know if it helps you make decisions as you develop your own hand and maybe help manage expectations as well. Also, if you play online, the only hesitation or the only tell online is with a hesitation. That's the only tell we have online. Although at Mahjong Time, we have one additional tell that I forgot to mention. That is the turn tile. The turn tiles, let me just share my screen really quick. At Mahjong Time, in an exposure, they turn a tile to indicate who threw it. So my 5-7 here, the player to my left threw the 7 crack, and they're playing big odds. So it's no surprise. They're collecting big odds. So I'm not surprised that they had a 7. The player to my right in the begin game threw a 5 crack and we took it. That probably was an unneeded tile, just an unwanted tile in the early game because that was the first exposure. So it really didn't have any connection with what they're doing here. Over here, the north, the player on their left discarded that north because the tile on the left is turned. So we know that the player to their right is not playing north and south, most likely. What we really didn't know if they're playing wins, although there's a west in front of them too. So at Mahjong Time, the turned tiles in exposures can give you information. That is not the way the game is played in American Mahjong, but the platform at Mahjong Time also has other versions that use that feature to help players identify who discarded what as part of the other versions that actually have scoring elements based on that, and also qualifiers based on turn tiles. So anyway, if you play at Mahjong Time, you can use that information. That's a second tell at Mahjong Time. All the other platforms would just have hesitations for playing online. You can use those hesitations to help you determine who has what tiles when they're discarded. And then there are all kinds of tells that you can pick up when you play in person. I hope you found this session helpful. Let me know in the comments section below if you're watching the repost if you have experienced tells that are not included in the presentation. And also I want to say thank you so much for watching my videos. Moderators, thank you for helping monitor the chat. If anyone has any questions, put them in the comment section or in chat. And oh, thank you, Sandra. If anybody has any questions, let me know real quick, and then I'll go ahead and sign off. I don't see any questions. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.